Hello everyone, I am back in Galway after being refugees for a full week from Storm Éowyn, and this is Ruben's little rock because I figured he might be he might agree to sit for the camera if I had his little rock, but turns out he doesn't care about his little rock. This was on the lawn. Ruben, was this on the lawn? Yes, it was. Anyway, so we are fully restored to power now, and I was on my way out to the studio this morning with my SketchPocket, and then I saw the cakes. I thought they looked kind of cute, so I sketched them. And what you are about to see is how I sketched them. And I thought for ages it wasn't going to work out very well, but in the end, if you just keep going, it's always the way. Just keep going, and it'll all work out well in the end. So enjoy the video. Here I am back at home. Storm Éowyn is a thing of the past. I'm in my kitchen and it's still a bit of a mess because the house is so cold we couldn't be bothered cleaning it up properly. However, the freezer was full of food that had defrosted, so we spent a couple of hours chucking it out. My husband Marcel did an incredible job cleaning out the freezer and the fridge. The fridge had to be chucked out as well, contents. But I had some defrosted fruit and I made some cakes. And as a kind of a commemoration of Storm Éowyn, I am going to sketch them. So I have my SketchPocket and I'm going to get going. So here we are at home. This is my kitchen. Well, that's my dining room. And here are the cakes that I made, blackberry and gooseberry. And as you can see, they got quite a shock, I hasten to add, mostly not me. So I'm going to get sketching. Here's my little notebook and here's a few pens, and let's see what happens. I tell you what, I'm not going to spend too long on this because I don't want to kind of make it into a vast production. So here are my paints in my SketchPocket, and I have my water brushes, and I have my Fude pen, and I'm going to be quite efficient with this. Here's my paints, and let's get going. I have a slight idea to go with this, which is to do the cakes themselves, and then do some pretty, sorry, it's hard to talk when you're concentrating, do some pretty gooseberries and blackberries and stuff around it. Could be quite a nice subject because of the fruit everywhere. So this is really the epitome, isn't it, of make art anywhere. Like, I was literally on the way out to the studio and I said, you know what, I'll just stop for a sec and I'll paint those cakes. This is very much not going to be a work of art. But I'm going to stop filming for a second because I need to get this camera out of the way, and then I will get back to you. Okay, here's blackberry cake and here's gooseberry cake. So you can see I've just added a very loose line on top, and I've used Roaring Klingner Jules, I don't know. Anyway, I've used the Roaring Klingner sketch ink in this kind of dark reddy colour, which I really like. And I'm going to do the gooseberry one in the same colour, and then we'll get painting. Okay, now we have two drawings of gooseberries, and we are going to fill them in and see what happens. I think this should be quite fun because it's, not like it's going in a gallery or anything, so I shall feel very, not that everything of mine ever does, but it's going to feel quite relaxed, so that's kind of nice. Well, I do like to start with a clean palette, and I find that the quickest way to get a clean palette is to loosen up all the old paint with your water brush or your regular brush, and then just take a piece of kitchen roll and dry it out a little bit. So I've done that, and I'm doing it with the other side as well. And you can see that little chunk of gold on the palette. That is a bit of acrylic gouache that I unwisely put on the palette. Don't do that because it doesn't come off. So here is my sketch so far, and I've got the just the lines drawn on with the Fude pen. And the next thing to do is to make some sort of cake colour, which I'm making out of yellow ochre and a little bit of burnt sienna. Now, I was trying to get this paint to work, and I was cursing the fact that I didn't have my little mister to hand to spray the paints and prepare them for painting, because if you wet them at the beginning of your session, it makes a massive difference when the time comes to get some good rich colour onto your page. And I'm painting the whole thing with what I imagine is going to be the almond colour, the colour of the toasted almonds. And my plan is to fill in the colour of the cake, which is darker, around the almonds when the time comes. It should work pretty okay. So I've got a little bit of brown down for the cake. Let's see if I can still make lemonade out of these particular lemons. Well, actually, the title's going to be When Life Gives You Lemons, and then I'm going to cross that out, kind of a strike through, you know. When life gives you defrosted fruit, make fruit cake. Something like that, I don't know. Okay, so there's the respective fruit. Not very realistic, but it'll do for now. Now I've got to model it up to try and make it look a bit more real. So we're getting there, and now we have a little bit more colour to distinguish the two pies from each other, but I can't leave something alone without adding some values, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to try doing it with this. Well, that'll do. I've had enough drawing cakes, so I'll pretty up the outside with some text, and I'll leave it at that. Well, it took a while for the page to dry enough for the biro to go on, but I got there in the end, and then I covered it with some cute font. Well, no more mean tricks with Reuben and rocks and so on, but here we are. Here's the little sketch I did, and I'm glad I did it, because I just love kind of capturing those simple little things, like some cakes to commemorate the storm. Not commemorate Storm Éowyn. It was an absolute nightmare, and even as I speak, some people still have no power. Imagine being 2 full weeks without heating, without electricity, without light, without phone charge, the whole lot. So my heart goes out to all those people, and I hope by the time this is up and running that everybody will, have their power restored, which they won't. But anyway, I hope they won't have too long to wait. And I'm going to say happy sketching, and I'm going to say see you very soon from Roisin and Reuben. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do want a SketchPocket, I'm afraid you'll have to wait a little while. They sold out before Christmas completely, but the new ones will be back in stock at the end of February and available for delivery from the 1st of March.